Hi, this is William Stewart, co-founder of Teleios. Welcome back to our verse-by-verse study on the book of Mark. We come to a momentous event. This video, starting Mark 11, the entry of Jesus into Jerusalem as king. Let's go to the text. When they came near to Jerusalem, unto Bethphage and Bethany at the Mount of Olives. Now, the Mount of Olives is very important. We'll talk about it more. It's at the mountain to the east of Jerusalem. It has the Garden of Gethsemane. These two towns, Bethphage and Bethany, were near the base of the mountain. And he sent forth to his disciples and said to them in verse 2, Go to the village over against you, and as soon as you have entered into it, you'll find a colt tied therein, never man sat. Loose him and bring him. And if any man says unto you, Why are you doing this? Tell him the Lord has need of it, and straightway he will give it to you. And they went their way, found the colt, and just as Christ said, they loosed the colt. And a person asked, Why are you loosing the colt? In verse 6, they said, Jesus had commanded, and they let him go. Verse 7, they took the colt and put their garments on it. So Jesus would have, I think, some padding, and sat him upon it. And he went then into the city. People were spreading their garments before him and cutting down branches off the trees and placed them in his way. And they went before him, saying and cried, Hosanna, blessed he that comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed the kingdom of our father David that comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. So what's occurring here? Well, first off, Christ entering the city on a donkey is significant. It is the fulfillment of the prophecy in Zechariah 9:9, famous prophecy of Christ riding righteous and humble on a colt, on a donkey, into the city. And contrast with the authorities, the elites, whom are resisting him. But I think also it harkens back to that the kings of Israel used donkeys to get around. We see this with Solomon. We see it with some of the prophets. And that is what the royalty used, or the important people used, for transportation. So on one hand, he's entering in a humble way, much as Zechariah says, but it also harkens to his kingship, riding on a donkey, perhaps. The fact that they laid their garments in front of him, the crowds, it's not specifying the crowds here, but I think we really know this from other Gospels. It's a sign of submission, and the palm trees were a sign of victory. Otherwise, if a king was victorious, they would lay the branches, and again, we know from other Gospels, these are palms, down in front of him. Submission and recognition of victory as their king. As Zechariah 9 says, this is their king entering into Jerusalem. Why do we see this? Why at this point is he entering as king? Well, I think it's a reminder to the people of why he came. He came as king to deliver the kingdom to them and their salvation. And it's a reminder to the leadership who they are about to kill. So I think he's giving one last chance of repentance by reminding them of who he is after spending so many months ministering to them as a humble servant. He then says he's blessed is the kingdom of our, back in verse 9, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. This is a quote from Psalm 118, 26. And then they mentioned David in verse 10, that comes in the name of the Lord, the kingdom of our father David. Again, recognizing the link in the lineage between Christ and David as predicted in the Old Testament, that this would be the Messiah. And he entered into Jerusalem and straight into the temple, and he observed what was there. I'm not sure what he was doing, But it was evening, and they returned back to Bethany with the 12 disciples. So this is 1 week before his resurrection. It's typically called Palm Sunday because the casting of the branches in front of him. And it begins the Holy Week, where Christ will teach leading up to his unjust crucifixion and his great resurrection. So this is a momentous time in the Christian faith, leading really to the holiday of Easter, which is most significant of all the Christian holidays, because it's our new life. It's our resurrection for those who believe. All right, what have we learned? Christ has entered Jerusalem for the final time. We're at the time of the Passover, Sunday before his resurrection. This is called Palm Sunday. And he has entered as king, with the people recognizing him. These are probably a lot of them from Galilee who have come down for the Passover and other places who've seen him minister, though there may have been some believers also from Jerusalem, and recognize the king. He's entered the city, gone to the temple, and returned back to Bethany, east of town, where he's staying. Thanks for joining me today. We'll continue with this amazing week next time. Please join me then.